Day 2 of the 3C2A Baseball Championships live from Fresno City College on SoCalCollegeSports.com. El Camino and Ohlone, the elimination bracket about to set and get underway in about 15 minutes here live on SoCal College Sports. You can join us on our YouTube channel. Go to SoCal College Sports 1. You can also go to our website, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com, and follow us on Twitter at SoCalCollegeSPO. Coming up in 15 minutes, Ohlone and El Camino, win or go home. Back in a moment.
And a very pleasant good morning, and we welcome you once again to the 2017 California Community College Athletic Association Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We move to day 2, and we start with a matchup between two teams that lost their openers yesterday, El Camino and Ohlone College. Jeff Stoynoff joined alongside Tony Barbone. Mike Cepeda will be joining us as well here on the broadcast. And Bones, two very good games to start yesterday. El Camino and Ohlone, losers in their opening game, but both teams had their opportunities. But that is small consolation as they are immediately up against it in this double elimination format.
Exactly right, Jeff. Consolation might be the word of the morning here as these young men face, I don't like to say do or die, I like to say do or don't. Either you do or you don't continue to play.
Yeah.
This is not the end of the world, but from the standpoint of your description of yesterday's ball games between four very, very evenly matched teams, I think. Two from the north, two from the south, and again we get north-south matchup this morning between El Camino and Ohlone.
Well, it's not the end of the world, but unfortunately, in a few hours, it is the end of someone's season. That's what's on the line here for these two teams. The winner today, for those that might not be familiar with the format, the winner today stays alive. They will play later tonight. After our next game, they will play in Game 3 today, Game 5 overall, and have to win that one. The loser of this game eliminated from the double elimination format, and therefore their season is over. So both teams, as we talked about yesterday, up against it. They'll have to win 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow to win the championship. But for the moment now, it is either do or don't, as you said.
Yes, sir.
We're getting set to go. It'll be Trevor Casanova getting ready to lead things off for El Camino. The Warriors will be the road team here for Game 3 of the weekend on the hill for Ohlone College freshman Kavona Alo Kaanohe. I'm going to have to work on that pronunciation as I go.
Well, we can just take turns. You could say one name, I could say one name, Mike could say one name, and we'll honor the young man accurately.
Luckily, he's the pitcher, so I think I'm going to get a lot of practice with his name, but it's Kavona Alo Kaanohe on the hill today, getting the call here.
We could just call him KK and we'd be good.
I should have asked that. That's actually a great idea.
I don't know if his family would be offended, but
for a nickname. His father's actually sitting right behind us. Could have gone for the nickname. First pitch to Casanova on the outside corner. We're underway here in our opener, first of 3 today on SoCalCollegeSports.com, and we'll have every pitch for you.
Trevor Casanova, leadoff hitter, catcher, leader for the Warriors. A little bit under the weather this morning, but he's trying to battle through this opportunity here in Fresno.
Comes in batting .394 on the season. Off-speed pitch outside, a ball and a strike. Bill Shortridge behind the plate calling the balls and strikes today. Casanova will be followed by Ty Conrad, Brady Dorn. No shakeup in the El Camino lineup from yesterday. Wouldn't expect a lot of panic here, Bones, from these 4 teams that have had a lot of success. That one fouled away by Casanova. Down in the count now, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it's probably an uncomfortable situation for some of these programs here because they've been so successful, but something that they can all respond to, as we watched yesterday as leads went back and forth the entire day. So I think they're both going to be okay, and they're all settled into the program here today.
Yeah, 2 tight ball games yesterday. El Camino falling in the opener 5-2. Right back through the box, and Alo Kaanohe able to field his position for the first out. Casanova got good contact, but Alo Kaanohe.
Again, we see a pitcher, which is glove number 9 on that defense, making a good play. We saw a couple yesterday off the mound on bunt sacrifice plays, and here KK. I'll let you work on the pronunciation. I'll go with KK unless they tell me otherwise. But
we'll check that.
Made a nice play right there, so we're doing okay.
We'll check that between the half inning. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll get a nickname here. That would be that'd be great.
And KK could be an omen. You don't know. That might be his might be his MO
Listen,
today.
A pitcher should have little problem with that nickname.
I would think so.
Conrad stands in, swings at the first pitch, lifts it to center field. Moving back, it's Ruley at the track, and he makes the catch. So Conrad gives it a ride, but it's a long out in the book. 2 down, bases empty.
Good swing, squared it up, looking for a pitch that he can drive early in the count. Did so and ran it down in this big yard by Ryan Ruley. We could call him RR maybe.
A lot of alliteration here in our names so far.
Well, we get a little bit more brief when we're had a few more birthdays.
That'll bring up Brady Dorn. If these two teams have something in common, and they have many things in common, but both teams have faced some adversity already in the playoffs. You look at Ohlone's run in the opener. They lost the first game of their opening series against Cosumnes River 10-1. And talk about being in trouble. Come back to win the next two, including eking out a 10-9 win in Game 3. So it was almost over for Ohlone before it even got started in this postseason.
Well, I think you find that in this situation, good teams rise to the top. There's character in both dugouts. And you see each one of these young men up on the fence, ready to go, pulling for their guys. So it's blue against green, and again, character counts.
Meanwhile, El Camino has trailed by multiple runs. Another shot through the box, this one off Alo Kaanohe, but the ricochet over to second to retire the side. Get back to talk a little bit more about the Warriors when we come back for the bottom of the first. We're through half an inning. No score. It's day 2 of the 3C2A Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Renegades coming to bat here in the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. Just underway here, Game 3 of the baseball championships in the 3C2A. Jeff Stonehuff, Tony Barbone, Mike Cepeda, the entire SoCal College Sports team with you here today. Hope you'll stick around for all 3 games.
Cassius Ham on the mound for the Warriors today.
Dealing to Isaac Cruz, the leadoff batter for Ohlone College. We'll give you the numbers on Ham shortly. Comes in with a record of 12-3, making his 17th start of the season. In 99 2/3 innings, he's allowed 81 hits, walked 45, struck out 125. Line drive, base hit for Cruz to get things started for Ohlone College. I started to make the point in the top of the first, Bones, that El Camino has also faced adversity. How about this? In the playoffs here in 2017, 2 times in elimination games already, they have trailed 5-0 or 4-1 and came back to win both games, including the 5-0 win at Orange Coast College, the top seed in the South. So,
well, I think that's evident of you got to play 27 outs to beat a quality club at this level, and El Camino knows that they're not out of anything till they're on the bus.
Yeah, if there's 2 teams here that are going to believe that they can come back despite losing the opener, I think we're looking at them right here.
No question. No question. Cassius Ham, right-hander in the South Coast Conference this year, very effective. Kind of one of those young men that's kind of effectively wild from time to time and keeps your feet active in that box.
Jacob Alvarado is the batter. Line drive into left field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Back-to-back singles to get things started against Cassius Ham. And the Renegades have something going right away here in the bottom of the first. 2 on, nobody out. And the big bat, Thaddeus Phillips, coming to the plate. And Phillips having a monster season, 15 home runs, 61 runs batted in. The average at .353. And look no further than yesterday for a Phillips bomb. It came right away, giving Ohlone a 2-0 lead before they would eventually fall to Grossmont 4-3.
Mr. Phillips can swing it.
Good pitch at the knees from Ham, who's
with
got troubles here right away.
Quality breaking ball, ability to strike people out, gives you an opportunity in this situation to step back from the anxiety here early. We've seen early inning anxiety by all our pitchers except for KK earlier. He was playing shortstop on the mound earlier.
Yeah, exactly. He handled it pretty much himself there with 2 shots back in the box, but a 3-up, 3-down inning, and now Ohlone with a chance to jump in front as they did yesterday. Hope for better results here today, obviously, for the Renegades. A 1-1 count now on Phillips.
Phillips, the definite power guy in this lineup, and we got our first moment here, Jeff.
Big swing and a miss from Phillips. It looked like Ham took a little something off on that pitch and had Phillips a little off balance. A ball and 2 strikes now the count.
Cassius has a quality breaking ball that he uses in different situations, and we could see that often here in this at-bat.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Got him. So Phillips down on strikes. That's a big-time answer from Cassius Ham. Came up with some nasty stuff there and gets Phillips on strikes.
It's like I said earlier in that at-bat, the ability to strike anybody out at any time. 125 punch-outs during the course of the year. Uses that strikeout pitch. A little slider off the plate, and Phillips bid on it. Now we're a ground ball away here for the Warriors.
Doesn't get a whole lot easier for Ham. Here's Ruley, who's batting .439 on the season coming in.
Made a nice play in the outfield to start the inning, take a double away from the El Camino 2-hole hitter Ty Conrad. So, again, this is the guy hitting .440. He knows how to handle it.
With 11 home runs to boot, 54 runs batted in.
Effective player, I would say.
The evidence seems to suggest. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the inside corner. I think Ruley tried to sell it with a little body English there, but he's not getting the call from Bill Shortridge behind the plate. A ball and a strike.
Well, the plate is the plate. 17 inches is the strike zone, and usually body language doesn't affect that.
You can try, but
I think quote unquote, if you ain't trying, whatever they say.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I think is the
well,
line.
We try not to promote that in the CCCAA.
Waves at the high fastball, the throw down to third, they got him. So they go to the double steal and give Ruley the green light there. He comes up empty. And the runner, Isaac Cruz, thrown out at third on the play. Alvarado does steal second, so now it's 2 down and Alvarado at second. So a roll of the dice early, putting the runners in motion here for Ohlone, and it backfires, and now 2 down.
Well, that looked like a hit and run.
Yep.
And Ryan just didn't get the ball in play. And he got a gentleman like Mr. Casanova behind the plate. He delivers the baseball well. So when we get in situations like this, we know that Ohlone's active. It was an execution situation.
Yeah, you talk
early
about
pressure.
You talk about the arm of Casanova yesterday, and yeah, Cruz really no chance there, out by a couple of steps.
Easily. And again, you put Mr. Ham back in a situation he's comfortable.
And now they'll try the pickoff back at second. It skips away, but Alvarado going to stay put. A ball and 2 strikes on Ruley will set the defense for you. Conrad in left, Noah Barba in center, Ryan Eastburn in right. We talked about for El Camino, no changes in the lineup. Hunter Lewis at third, had a great game in the field yesterday. Darian Sylvester at short, Brady Dorn at second, Connor Underwood at first, Trevor Casanova behind the plate, and Cassius Ham on the mound. Down on strikes. What a job by Ham. Fans Phillips and Ruley to get out of the first. After the first 2 were on, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 1 inning in Game 3 of the California Community College Athletic Association Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It'll be Eastburn, Underwood, and Barba due up in the top of the second inning for El Camino against Kavena Alo Ka'anohi. Freshman on the hill for Ohlone.
Against the lineup from El Camino that is completely freshman.
That's a bright sign for the future if they can hold on to him there in El Camino.
Well, they do a good job of processing young man, getting him out, taking scholarships.
First pitch swinging and lined foul
I think there might be
Ryan Eastburn.
Oh, there might be a typo or two in there. I think Casanova's a sophomore, headed to Cal State Northridge or some major league club.
Yeah, that would be one of the first times I can recall seeing something like that. Such a freshman-laden lineup.
Yeah, that might just be a clerical error. That might be Mike's fault, right?
We can blame Mike for a lot of things, but no, this is not Mike's terrain here putting this together for us. Here's the 0-1. A swing and a foul back to the screen, and Eastburn quickly in a hole now. No balls and 2 strikes. Comes in batting .324. A home run, 48 runs batted in.
Well, our young man from Ohlone, KK, not too many innings pitched, but he is in the strike zone immediately on every at-bat, which weighs in his favor.
Yeah, allowed just 13 hits in 23 2/3 innings coming in. And so far, he's letting his fielders do the work behind him, retiring the first 3, and among those fielders, himself.
Exactly. We talk about that 9th glove being important, but as you see his appearances, 9 appearances and only 4 starts, so he's been a flex guy for the Renegades all year.
Well, this is one of the things that's fascinating about this format is as this goes on, as the teams advance and go toward day 3, you never know who you might see just outside. A ball and 2 strikes.
And traditionally like this, someone in the middle of your staff steps up, has to have an outing, similar to what we saw from the left-hander last night.
Yeah, and it's
from Santa Rosa.
And it's not unheard if you make it to Game 7 to even see a position player who might come in and be put in a position to throw innings. That one foul territory and out of play.
And with that in mind, I think you play this pitch. You don't play pitch 1 in Game 7. They need to play this pitch, and then you worry about the next dance partner.
Well, that's always the feeling that we've had when we've talked to the coaches.
Right.
And this one said you can't get too much into thinking about day 3. You have to win the game in front of you in this one and then make the adjustments that you do afterwards. And
exactly.
Hence why you sometimes might see a center fielder or someone come in and throw a game. Line drive, sinking and in for a base hit. Eastburn with a single to start the second inning, the first base runner of the day for the Warriors.
Good stroke, 2-strike at bat. Again, we talked yesterday about letting that ball get deep with 2 strikes. Trust in your hands, trust in your bat path, and Ryan did a great job there whacking that ball to left field.
It's a welcome sight for the Warriors, who had just 5 hits in the 5-2 loss yesterday. Didn't exactly squander a lot of opportunities. They were having difficulty getting started against that very formidable Santa Rosa pitching staff.
Exactly. Santa Rosa knew what they're doing. 3 innings with one guy, 6 innings with their left-hander.
Yep.
Both put a cap on the ball game. After about the 3rd inning, it became a pretty good ball game. So El Camino welcomes good at-bats. They had a couple in the first inning, but there were one of those gloves were in the way.
Yeah. Connor Underwood, the batter. A shot to third. They'll go to second for 1. The relay in time. 5-4-3. Base runner erased. It's 2 down. Base is empty, and Noah Barba coming to the plate.
That's Johnny Damon, no relation, making a great play on a well-hit ball.
Yeah, turned it nicely. Did
Connor
Isaac
Underwood.
Cruz at second.
And that was a quick twist, by Isaac Cruz at second base. Very nice double play ball. And well done by the Renegades.
So let's set the defense for you. Ryan Probst in left, Ryan Ruley in center, Jacob Alvarado in right. Will do the infield after this pitch to Noah Barba. Off speed at the knees, called strike 1. Johnny Damon at third, Miguel Cesares at short, Isaac Cruz at second, A.J. Curtis at first, Thaddeus Phillips behind the plate, and Kavena Alo Ka'anohi on the mound for Ohlone. Here's the 0-1. High pop foul.
We found in this kind of a tournament, the team that is victorious in this Breakfast Club game, I think traditionally has the advantage in that third game of the day. It's pretty tough to play in that winner's game in the middle, get beat, and come back.
That is absolutely the experience I think that they have there. And it makes you wonder, we did the softball championships last week, and they actually reversed the order and have the winner's bracket play earlier to, I guess, maybe afford a greater advantage to that team that did win on the first day, because I think it's exactly true. They get to go back, rest a little bit. The other team, the loser of our next game, has to go right back to work 45 minutes later. Of course, it's nice to be 19 years old, but still. And one chopped, and it's a foul ball.
Yeah, it's tough to go Gatorade, Snickers, and then tee it up for 9 more.
Yeah, you better be 19. A ball and 2 strikes on Noah Barba. But I think it's an interesting call, and obviously, and then it speaks, of course, to the tremendous advantage of winning our next game, Game 4, because then you go home, you get the full night's rest, you come back, you only have to win 1 out of 2 the next day, and I think it's why so often that team ultimately is able to finish off the championship.
Well, that's the game. You're victorious in Game 4. Your feet are up. You're by the pool.
Yep.
Get a little lunch, get a little breakfast, and you definitely have an advantage just on body and mindset.
Yeah, the other 2 teams playing deep into the night here in Fresno, and you're back relaxing, getting ready for your game the next day. Foul tip. Phillips holds it. That's a strikeout. Barba down to finish the second inning. We're through 1.5. Still scoreless. It's the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships right here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the second inning from John Eulis Field. Mike, bring up a shot. Bring up center field, okay? And we're getting our picture here soon. No balls and a strike. Slow curve from Ham is high. A ball and a strike. A.J. Curtis leading things off for Ohlone. He'll be followed by Ryan Probst and Johnny Damon here in the bottom of the second inning. Ham into the wind. A shot past Sylvester and into center for a base hit. Curtis hits it on the screws. And Sylvester with little chance on that one, Bones.
Yes, ball hung a little bit. Cassius hung that breaking ball up a little bit. Good swing, good at bat, good approach. Taking that breaking ball back up the middle. And our shortstop didn't quite get his hand over there, Darren Sylvester.
First pitch low to Ryan Probst.
Be interesting to see here how active Ohlone is. I think it was a botched hit and run, but I think Mr. Casanova got some respect. But I don't think that's going to stop Ohlone from doing what they do.
1 ball and no strikes. That one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Casanova. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, our experience covering this is pretty much any coach we talk to, regardless of sport, pretty much going to say we do what we do. They're not easily dissuaded from the personality, from the culture of their club.
No, they're not. They got to stay with what quote unquote got them here.
2-0 the count now. Big swing and a miss.
Good runner control there by Cassius Ham. Hold the ball, as we said yesterday. that forces that base runner to settle into their feet a little bit, flatten them out, and not quite get the jump they're looking for.
Probst batting .333 on the season, 2 home runs, 27 runs batted in. He's got Curtis at first, and a 2-1 count. Swinging a fly ball to center. Easy play for Barba. Has it for out number 1. That'll bring up Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon, great play. Top of the second inning on that hard hit ball by Connor Underwood to turn the double play.
Yeah, great play. Why was he not leading off? I don't understand the order here.
Well, we missed by 1.
Yeah, defying the rule. Damon batting .373 on the season, a home run, 24 runs batted in. The pitch from Ham in there for a strike.
So not only can he play defense, he can swing the pole in the 7-hole with 17 stolen bases as well. So, again, I think you talked yesterday about him being demoted to the 7-hole hitting about 380.
Yeah, talk about a difference in approach between the two teams as you look down the stat line. El Camino has 1 player in double digits in stolen bases on the season, Ty Conrad with 10 steals. In the lineup today, Ohlone has 1 player not in double digits in stolen bases on the season.
I think Ohlone's athletic trainer is 12 for 14 on stolen bases.
1-1 the count. Pop fly into left field. Conrad moving over, and he has it for the out.
Damon a little out in front of that breaking ball. I think he had a good line on it, but got out in front a little bit. Barrel a little bit lazy. Lazy fly ball to left field for out number 2.
2 down. Curtis still at first, and that'll bring up Cesares.
If you noticed yesterday, I think, correct me if I'm wrong because I have been twice in my life, I think Cazares and Knox were flip-flop yesterday in yesterday's lineup. I think Knox hit 8 and Cazares hit 9.
Well, let's just have a look. Cesares takes that one for ball number 1. Yeah, they have Damon 7th, and then Naeem Knox, the designated hitter, and then Cesares batting 9th.
Yeah, so they were flip-flopped today. Not sure what the reason is.
The 1-0 from Ham. Stays with the off-speed stuff, and it's low. 2 balls, no strikes on Cesares.
But I think I remember Miguel having some pretty good at-bats yesterday, a couple big hits. He likes to take the ball to the pull side of the diamond. So they'll try and stay away from him here.
Comes in batting .303 with a home run and 31 runs batted in. Ham goes to the fastball, misses again. 3 balls, no strikes.
Like I said earlier, Cassius has a little bit of a tendency to be kind of effectively wild from time to time. We'll see how he rebounds on this 3-0 count.
Yeah, he's allowed the leadoff runner aboard in each of the first 2 innings. He was able to get out of it thanks to a little help from Casanova.
He's back in the at-bat. You know, he's got a 3-to-1 ratio strikeout to walks, which is a little bit abnormal at El Camino. They're usually like 6 or 7-to-1, but that just proves that sometimes he gets away from it.
Ham into the wind. Misses outside. Issues his first walk of the day. 2 on again for the Renegades with Naeem Knox coming to the plate.
Seems like every inning we've been here this weekend, Jeff, that the Renegades got people running around the bases.
Yeah, they had their opportunities, but could not seem to push through against Grossmont in the opener yesterday. In fact, in the 1-run loss, they had the tying run 90 feet away in the 7th inning, but unable to get that run in and ultimately fell 4-3, but not without some opportunity.
Yeah, I think the Grossmont right-hander, Tim, went strikeout in that inning to keep that tying run from coming across. So here we are, moment.
What a gutty effort on the mound.
Yes, sir, it
yesterday by Holdgrafer, who ended up going 8 innings, and you think about starting very early, giving up the bomb to Phillips, and the way that he was able to recover and seemingly get stronger as he went on.
He definitely did. He settled. He settled into the moment. He settled into his skill level and executed his pitch as well.
Meanwhile, Naeem Knox quickly in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. Here's the pitch. Knox, high chopper back toward the mound. Ham over to first to retire the side. Renegades threaten once again, but come up empty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We're through 2 complete, still scoreless. the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships right here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the third from John Eulis Ballpark here at Fresno City College. Scoreless game here in game number 3 of the 3C2A Baseball Championships.
As we start here the third inning, I think we need to make sure we keep in mind what we're memorializing this weekend. Our men and women and our armed services.
Look no further than Matt Henson on technical direction. Bouncing ball gets away from Curtis.
Just to finish that thought, Jeff, I want to make sure that that we're grateful for the opportunity we have here, and not only remembering our men and women that allow us the freedom that we have to be here and enjoy America's game, but also all the fans, parents, athletic counselors, all the people that help these young men get to this position. It's good to remember all our support groups as we're here today, being blessed with this opportunity.
Well said.
Thank you.
Curtis, meanwhile, unable to handle the bouncing ball off the bat of Whistler, so the leadoff man aboard for El Camino with Whistler at first, and that'll bring up Hunter Lewis, takes a strike.
Hunter Lewis, our gold glove of the day yesterday, made several outstanding plays at the hot corner.
Yeah, terrific job at third base.
And
meanwhile, Kavena Alo Kaanohe goes to work with a runner at first. He's faced the minimum through the first 2 innings, but now has another runner aboard. We'll see how he deals with Lewis. An 0-1 count, catches the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes, the count now on Lewis.
Again, KK making sure he's around that strike zone all day, and pretty effective.
Way ahead in the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. On Lewis, who comes in batting .257, 4 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Popped on the right side, twisting out of play. Curtis just runs out of room. So Lewis taking some time now as Alo Kaanohe steps off, and now we're set to go. I don't know if there's a little bit of gamesmanship there. I think first it was Kavena, and then Lewis stepped out. And
is that the what I call my dad can beat up your dad
a little
time of the game?
A little test of wills there between the two.
I think third base coach a little slow getting signs maybe. And Mr. Conrad wasn't, Mr. Hunter Lewis wasn't paying attention.
Whistler away from first. In the dirt, nice block by Phillips.
Phillips also has demonstrated some defensive skills over the course of the last couple of days in addition to that thunder bat he carries around. So nice play, blocking that ball in the dirt.
Yeah, what a luxury that would be.
Oh, yeah.
have a guy like that can contribute in so many ways. 1-2. Could be 2. Over to second for 1. The relay. Second double play of the game for Ohlone College. Another base runner erased off the pass, and it's 2 down, bases empty, and that'll bring up Sylvester.
Well, the pitcher's best friend, 6, 4, 3.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the double play there, and it's a perfect double play ground ball, and Cesares to Cruz to Curtis.
Again, as we said, KK down in the zone, around the zone, forcing people to plate to compete with his pitch count.
So here's Sylvester with the bases empty. First pitch low. A ball and no strikes on Sylvester, who comes in batting .299. 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in on the season. Well, Alo Kaanohe still faced the minimum now through 2 2/3.
Jeff, how many times did you have to practice that pronunciation?
I think it's third inning. I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
We flew him to Hawaii last night, and he had a phonetics teacher on the Big Island.
Well, I'll tell you, we do a fair amount of football coverage during the season, and that is a heavily recruited area.
Absolutely.
So we do get some experience calling some names of a similar vein, shall we say. This one in front of the El Camino dugout, and Curtis battling the sun, able to put it away for out number 3. No runs, no hits, 1 error, nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 3rd, still scoreless. The 2017 California Community College Athletic Association Baseball Championships are right here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd in a scoreless game. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Renegades. Isaac Cruz to be followed by Jacob Alvarado and Thaddeus Phillips against Cassius Ham, who's put some runners on base but so far has yet to allow a run. Bunt attempt down the third base line. Lewis charging, throws on the run and got him.
Outstanding play.
See if we can get the replay.
By Hunter Lewis on a great bunt by Isaac Cruz. Great idea. Great placement, great location.
See if we can get the replay. Might be a little bit late on it.
Do or don't play.
And unfortunately, we don't quite have that one from Lewis, so.
Great play.
It'll just have to live on in our mind's eye. Alvarado swings at the high fastball and comes up empty. No balls and a strike.
Aggressive early like Ohlone.
Fastball high, a ball and a strike now on Alvarado. That one tails inside. 2 balls and a strike. Alvarado singled in the first, came in batting .331 with no home runs and 19 runs batted in.
It's a little bit typical of Cassius Ham.
Curveball, a beauty.
Goes back to that breaking ball to get back in the at-bat, get back in the account after that effectively wildness that he has from time to time just off the plate.
Similar to Taylor Rashi, who used that breaking ball so effectively, often behind in the count. Called strike 3. Alvarado down on strikes, 2 down, and that'll bring up Phillips with the bases empty.
Not only do these right-handers from El Camino have some depth in their repertoire. They get into the game, they go deep into the game, and they stay in at bats because they have 2 and 3 pitches to help them through that outing.
Phillips fanned his first time up. He is having a monster postseason, batting .333 with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in the postseason, including the bomb yesterday. A ball and no strikes quickly on Phillips. Here's the pitch from Ham. Huge cut.
Well, if I'm Cassius Ham, this is where I like to see Mr. Phillips. He's got no friends on the bases. He's a lonely hitter right now, so that might be the best time to face Thaddeus.
Ham up on the rubber. He's ready, right back to the fastball, but misses. 2 balls and a strike on Thaddeus Phillips.
I see a slight adjustment in Thaddeus in the box. He is up in the box trying to take that breaking ball away and make them give him a fastball he can drive.
Here comes the 2-1. Another big cut from Phillips. It's not an accident that this guy's got 15 bombs on the season.
Yeah, he's not afraid to roll the pole here a little bit and get into the at-bat.
Well, and you got to figure 2 down, bases empty in this situation. He goes up there thinking about making something happen in a hurry, if he can. That one well high, count goes full.
We know he can.
Yeah.
It's just a matter if he will in this at-bat. There's no doubt he can.
I think he demonstrated that. Here's the payoff pitch. Got him again. Ham fans Phillips to end the third. 3 up, 3 down. We're through 3, still scoreless here in the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships. Top of the order due up for the Warriors here in the top of the 4th in a scoreless game. Casanova to be followed by Conrad and Dorn against Kavana Alo Kaanohe. The freshman has been perfect through 3. No runs allowed, just 1 hit. But now I have to work through a second time against the Warrior lineup, see if they can start to make some adjustments. Just inside to Casanova, ball and no strikes. Casanova grounded back to the box his first time up.
Warriors looking to kind of get the sputter and offense together a little bit. They get a knock here, a base runner here, a knock there, but they're not stringing many of those together that gives many run production.
Casanova came into the weekend unbelievably hot in the postseason. He's still 18 for 38 overall in the postseason.
Well, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, this young man was fighting it before the game with some stomach flu or food poisoning or something along those lines, and he's gotten it out, so we'll see the best that Trevor has to offer today.
He was 1 for 3 yesterday. Foul tip. Strike 2.
Again, KK down in the zone. Good changeup. Took a little something off. Trevor out in front. We'll see what his 2-strike approach looks like here for the Warriors in the top of the 4th.
A 1 ball and 2 strike count. Interestingly, Ryan Rulli in center field shaded well over toward right center field. A big gap in left center field for Casanova. A shot into the Warrior dugout. It looks like everyone's okay, but a dangerous ball there. And, of course, a classic example of why you got to be watching the game.
And that tells
at
you a
any
little bit
moment.
about the
Fortunately, they
defensive
got the replay of this one. You see that just heading right into the box, and everybody doing a good job of getting out of the way.
Well, that's the scouting report. You see those outfielders to the pull side. You wonder why. You just saw why.
Yeah, working it inside. Casanova ropes it foul. A drive into right center. How about the positioning for Rulli moving to his left? And he makes the catch, and I got to tell you, that absolutely makes the difference. I don't think Rulli gets there if he's straight away.
No, not at all. That ball's off the wall. That's a scouting report. That's people getting here during their work in between games. Good stroke by Trevor. But quote unquote, we got a guy there, and he's good.
Unbelievable. Or it turns into a relatively routine play for Rulli. That's a tough break for the Warriors. Nonetheless, one down, and that'll bring up Conrad, who flied to center, deep to center, his first time up.
Early approach, early swing. Went after a good fastball, drove it well, but Rulli ran it down.
Conrad batting .300 in the postseason, 12 for 40. That one in the dirt. A ball and no strikes.
You see there that he was jumped all over the first fastball in the last at-bat, and they came back with a breaking ball first pitch in this at-bat. So people are paying attention.
Yeah, the Warriors have hit a couple of balls hard here in the first few innings, but so far the defense has been excellent. And they have just the one hit to show for it. A couple of double plays behind Kavena Alo-Kaanohi as well have certainly helped, but still a scoreless game on both sides. A ball and a strike. The count now on Conrad. That one tipped, a ball and 2 strikes.
Again, ball down in the zone. This gentleman just does not fail up very often. He's going to force the ball down. But as a hitter, that gives you a little bit longer to get information from the pitch. If you stay patient, ball's down, you got time to recognize a little bit longer.
1-2 on Conrad. Here's the pitch. Tried to get him to chase a breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Rulli has shaded over toward left center. They play Conrad to pull.
It's about where he hit it last time, but it hit about the 380 into that deep part of the park.
Yeah, any other place in the park, and maybe it's 1-0. Breaking ball got him. Second strikeout of the game for Alo-Kaanohi. 2 down, bases empty, and that'll bring up Brady Dorn. Dorn grounded to second his first time up, came in batting .271. No home runs, 41 runs batted in.
Looking for a spark here with 2 outs. Again, El Camino fighting it at the plate a little bit, and you start getting 13th, 14th inning participation, limited offense. You might press just a little bit.
First pitch to Dorn, inside. Well, 2 of the 3 innings, the leadoff man has gotten aboard for El Camino in this one, but been immediately erased with a double play. At the knees, count evened up, a ball and a strike.
KK back in the at-bat with that backwards breaking ball.
And how much confidence does that give a pitcher when you have a situation like that and you're getting that kind of defense behind you? A couple of double plays like that.
Well, you got to compete in the zone. Got to trust your guys in the field, especially your middle guys. They're there for a reason. They know what they're doing. They know how to play catch. And, again, if you're especially down in the zone and not fear contact. Sometimes we hear pitchers that they fear contact. No need to.
Yep.
We got more than them. So
yep, absolutely.
Let's keep getting that ball over the plate and make them swing the bat.
Here's the 2-1 to Dorn, swung on and fouled away.
Just based on those percentages, you want people to swing. So, got nice infield here, plays well, great park, beautiful stadium, great passion here by Coach Ron Scott and his group. Host Fresno City College baseball.
And especially in the last couple of years, it seems that we've been here. The defense has been outstanding, really across the board.
Well, not too many bad hops here.
3 balls, 2 strikes to count on Dorn. Yeah, I think that's absolutely what you were alluding to. And
this would be a quality minor league park right here, quality minor league facility. I've been to a lot of minor league fields in my day, and a lot of them aren't this nice.
The payoff pitch to Dorn, soft line drive, base hit. So Dorn places it well. Looked like he caught that one maybe just a little off the end of the bat.
Well, maybe. I think it might have been a little in on him. I have to see the replay. It sounded thuddy. Looked like a good job trying to get his hands inside and trying to get it away from that center fielder, Ryan Ruley, who seems to catch everything.
Yeah. Well, the hard hit balls out to Ruley haven't really been much of a problem, so why not try to drop one in front of him?
Because he has been ruling center field for us all day.
So Dorn at first with 2 down. That'll bring up Eastburn, who singled his first time up. High fastball.
And ironically, I think Eastburn took a 2-strike ball away and whacked it to left, and now you see Mr. Ruley playing to the pull side of second base. So, again, we've got some serious gaps out there in left center and straightaway left.
Eastburn with the hit back in the second inning has now hit in 12 of his last 14.
And there's a reason he's in the 4-hole, and that might be one of them.
A ball and a strike. He came in batting .324. 1-1 pitch, jammed him. But he's able to fight it off. A ball and 2 strikes.
Not your stereotypical 4-hole hitter with 1 home run, but he does drive in runs with about 50. And he brings in a quality average at .324.
Well, the Warriors haven't had much success when they've gotten the leadoff man aboard. To see if perhaps they have some success here after 2 are out in an inning. In the dirt, and Phillips able to keep that one in front. Count evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ryan trying to have a quality at bat here, get Connor Underwood, who's driven in runs during the playoffs, into the box with people in scoring position.
Short lead for Dorn. Now he starts to lengthen. Bouncing ball to second. Cruz on the big hop. That will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. El Camino and Ohlone College in the 3C2A Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
And remember, everybody, if you couldn't make it up to Fresno to catch all of the action this weekend, be sure to catch all of the action on our website at www.socalcollegesports.com. You can also watch this weekend's events on our YouTube channel at SoCal College Sports 1.
Bottom of the 4th, Ruley, Curtis, and Probst due up for the Renegades in a scoreless game. Ham into the wind, fastball down the middle, strike 1. Ruley fanned his first time up to end the 1st. Came into action batting .439. Just off the outside corner. Sorry about that, Bones.
No problem. Cassius Ham starting to settle into his outing right now. Looks a little bit more confident. A little more fluid on the mound.
Rope to left. And twisting foul. Tell you, Ryan just missed it. A ball and 2 strikes now on Ruley. How good has Ham been, by the way, now between the 3 and 4 hitters? He fanned Phillips twice. Now he's got Ruley, who he struck out in the first, down 2 strikes. And gets Ruley. So the 3-4 hitters who are responsible for 8 home runs in the postseason alone, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against Cassius Ham here in Game 3 today.
Good observation, Jeff. Yes, he's a strikeout pitcher and controlling the count now. Like I said, getting a little more steady, getting a little bit of run.
5 in a row set down, including striking out the last 3.
He has that ability. Like I said, Ohlone's plan needs to maybe change a little bit. He's back on his game.
No balls and a strike. And that one on the inside corner. And now he's starting to get a little bit of benefit of the doubt from Bill Shortridge behind the plate as well.
Well, like I said, the first pitch was extension side. That was arm side. He's controlling that 17 inches right now. It's his way.
Here's the 0-2. And Curtis just fights that one off. A.J. had a single his first time up, leading off the second inning.
Using all his pitches right now, we might be having a guy that's kind of ham and egging it a little bit.
Ham's 2-1 in the postseason himself with an ERA of 4.19, but he's feeling it today. Line towards short. Sylvester with the catch. So 2 down, bases empty. That'll bring up Probst.
Well, Ohlone not having base runners, which is part of their offense. Again, he seemed to have a crowd there, but the last couple innings, they've been going solo at home plate, looking for somebody to get it started for him today.
So Probst, the battery fly to center his first time up. First offering. Fly ball, right field. Eastburn moving over, and he has it to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down here in the 4th. When will the offense get here? We're through 4. No score. El Camino and Ohlone in the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And we head to the top of the 5th. Connor Underwood will lead things off for El Camino against Camino Alo Kaanohi on the hill for Ohlone. We talked about Alo Kaanohi, the freshman, getting the call here, but this is hardly his first time in a high-pressure situation. In the elimination game, Game 3 of the sectionals against Sacramento City, it was Alo Kaanohi that got the start in Game 3, going 5 2/3, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits and a 5-1 victory. So, Kavanagh, no stranger to a pressure start as he gets one here today, and he's been outstanding through 4 innings. First pitch, a strike to Underwood.
Absolutely, Jeff. Like I said, the ball is down. He doesn't give you a full side of the baseball to hit. He only gives you half the baseball. You got to put a pretty good swing on to get something off your KK here.
That one just off the outside corner, a ball and a strike on Underwood. He grounded into a double play his first time up. Talked about Underwood in the postseason. Now 14 for 34, a little over 400, with a home run and 11 runs batted in. And this for a guy who moved into the starting lineup after an injury to Angel Mora. Back to the mound. Alo Kaanohi over to first to retire Underwood for the first out here in the top of the 5th.
Both pitchers now settling in. Pitch counts coming down. Stability there. Effort level better. A lot smoother in their deliveries. Getting a little bit anxious on see who's going to unwrap this thing first.
Barba, a strikeout victim, stands in now for El Camino. Should say a strikeout victim his first time up. And that one just got a piece of him. So Barba at first, hit by the pitch. A base runner for the Warriors that'll bring up Cody Whistler, who reached on an error his first time up.
Again, KK looking for his best friend today. It's not his dog, it's the double play.
But for the record, he might have a dog.
Agreed.
Fastball is high. A ball and no strikes on Whistler. Well, Barba only has 5 stolen bases on the season, but he's got good speed.
Well, I think this is a point in the offense for El Camino. They got to decide. They can't just stand here and go, mano a mano. They need to get some action, hit and run, something like that.
Barba with a big lead at first, base hit to right for Whistler. Barba rounding second, no hesitation. They're going to send him to third. The ball is cut off. So Whistler with a clean single to right, and now it's runners at the corners, 1 down, and the best scoring opportunity, I would say, since the bottom of the first, and certainly the best scoring opportunity of the game for El Camino so far comes in the 5th.
Might be the best scoring opportunity El Camino's had since about 2 o'clock yesterday.
I think it's exactly right.
Getting 4 hit against the Santa Rosa Bear Cubs, but Phillips going to the mound, settle him down as Whistler whistled one just past the first baseman's glove down that right field line.
Yeah, the lefty hooked it. Fans, a reminder that today's game is being brought to you by the 3C2A. The California Community College Athletic Association sponsors 24 championships for more than 27,000 student athletes attending 108 colleges throughout the state. The 3C2A, providing opportunities and fulfilling dreams.
Bill Shortridge out to break up the powwow. So now Kavena Alo-Ka'anohi will have to go back to work with runners at the corners and Hunter Lewis coming to the plate. Lewis grounded into a double play his first time up. That was back in the 3rd.
Well, I think KK just seems to stay with his plan. Hit batsman, good at bat. They sequence the at-bats together to give him this opportunity.
Damon even with the bag at 3rd. And Whistler held on at first by Curtis, so a lot of holes in the infield as they play back up the middle.
Well, they are at double play depth. Corners are in. Third baseman, ground ball, whatever way it takes him right here will determine how he executes a play.
The 1-0 to Lewis, and a fake and a throw over. Usually you see the fake, then the fake, but that time Alo-Ka'anohi willing to actually go for the pickoff at first, but nothing doing. Whistler back easily.
And he did fake you out at least.
Well, that's not hard to do. I'd get picked off in about 5 seconds. High pop in front of the Ohlone dugout, and it's going to be out of play. A ball and a strike now on Lewis.
Hunter looking for something he can drive. He can let that ball get deep and try and drive that ball into what we call the 3-5 hole over there between the first baseman and the second baseman. Large gap, ball in play to any infielder's non-glove side should give them an opportunity to get this run in and beat the double play.
Lewis has been struggling a little bit at the plate over the last 4 games, but what an opportunity here to break out of it and give the Warriors a lead. A throw over and Whistler back. So the pace slows just a little bit. This is good poise from Alo-Ka'anohi. Not in a hurry.
No need to be here. Don't need to hurry. I think you want to make sure you never hurry in this situation. Take a deep breath and poise up and do what you do.
He's got one he likes. Here's the 1-1. Drive to left center. Rulli moving over, dives. He won't get it. It one hops the wall. The Warriors have the lead. Rounding third, Whistler will come home on a 2-run double by Hunter Lewis. Meanwhile, we're going to take a look. Rulli getting to his feet. Out in left center. He laid out on the track, but couldn't track that ball down on the double by Lewis.
Ryan Rulli, another great effort after a quality at-bat by Hunter Lewis. Ball left up, driven, and El Camino has put 3 at-bats together. We've been looking for that for about 24 hours now, and they did that, produced 2 runs, and have taken the lead here in the top of the 5th.
First lead of the weekend for the Warriors. They fell behind yesterday, got it back to a tie game before eventually falling 5-2 to Santa Rosa. And a welcome sight here as they have the 2-0 lead, and we may see a pitching change. That is going to be all for Camino Ka'anohi. He was outstanding, ran into a little trouble here in the 5th, and leaves trailing 2-0. We'll come back with news on the new pitcher here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. New pitcher for Ohlone here in the top of the 5th. Brian Martinez, the left-hander, on, taking over for Camino Ka'anohi, who goes 4 1/3, allowing 2 runs, and he's responsible for Hunter Lewis at second. That one bounces in. Phillips with the good block. Sylvester at the plate. He's 0 for 1.
Brian coming in a tough situation here. El Camino energy, consecutive quality at bats, runner in scoring position. Freshman left-hander for Ohlone.
Martinez making his 22nd appearance. A record of 12-0, an ERA of 3.10. Swing and a miss. Sylvester down, no balls and 2 strikes. Or I should say that evens up the count at a ball and a strike.
Good changeup, good backwards mentality. Throw the ball in the middle of the plate, take something off it, see how far he can hit it.
Sylvester had a couple of hits yesterday in the loss to Santa Rosa. Comes up here with an opportunity to perhaps extend a 2-0 lead. Just high. 2 balls and a strike. And so far it looks like mainly off-speed stuff that we've seen from Brian Martinez.
Looks like that's his repertoire. Keep you off balance, not give you much to stand up and knock. But again, open base, left-handed hitter on deck. Maybe that has something to do with the selection.
The 2-1 pitch. In the dirt again. Snap throw from Phillips. Gets away. And that will allow Lewis to take third. And I think that's got to go down as it's an error. But I don't know if that's on the throw by Phillips or maybe, I believe it was Cruz moving over to cover.
Well, that's why we have a press box. They'll let us know. Or maybe we need to, default to Mikey. What do you think, Mike?
Nonetheless, looking at the replay, I think that's Cruz might have been able to come up with that ball. He got a little bit tangled up with the runner Lewis trying to get back.
That's a tough play. I think the one thing to really keep an eye on is Ryan Rulli out in center field. After laying out for that ball, he looks decidedly like a different player out there. Looks a little woozy right now. Slow getting to that ball, allowing the runner to really get to third in a hurry.
Yeah, well, he's playing very deep as well. High pop in back of short. Cesares moving onto the grass, but he's called off by Probst, who has it for the out. The runner's going to hold at third. Before I could even make the point that was a big 90 feet because the runner moved to third with just 1 out, Martinez is able to get Sylvester to pop out to shallow left. So now 2 down. Lewis still at third, and Trevor Casanova will be the batter.
Definitely an off-speed pitch, backing it up, out in front. I'm assuming that's not having seen Brian throw before. That's part of what he does. We'll see how he handles a left-handed hitter and the leadoff hitter, Trevor Casanova.
So 2 down now, a runner at third. First pitch to Casanova, slow curve outside, a ball and no strikes. And getting back to Mike's point, I think that is something certainly worth watching as Rulli laid out on the warning track. And see how he's able to recover. He's still in the game, moving over toward right center to position himself for Casanova, but Rulli a big part of the defense here.
Well, he's a big part of a lot of things they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does a good job at home plate and in center field.
Casanova's 0 for 2 in the game, grounded back to the pitcher and flied to center. Again, Martinez tries with the off-speed stuff and misses outside. 3 balls, no strikes on Casanova. A runner at third, 2 down here in the top of the 5th. But with offense at a premium here, at least so far in this one, this is a big run at third base for El Camino.
Absolutely. I would expect here a 3-1 count to be something soft. They don't want to give in to one of the top hitters. Looks like Trevor's going to have to handle an off-speed pitch and maybe hit it to the gap where Rulli vacated earlier.
3-1 pitch. Tries the inside corner and missed. So Casanova works a 2-out walk.
Indeed, an off-speed pitch, 3-1. That tells you a little bit about Brian Martinez. So each at bat, he's educating us on what he likes to do.
And that'll bring up Ty Conrad, who's 0 for 2, flied to center, and struck out. And we don't have the lefty-righty splits made available to us, but you have to imagine for Conrad here working against a lefty off-speed stuff. This could be a good matchup.
Conrad likes to get an early swing.
First pitch low, a ball and no strikes.
He needs to make sure that he changes his plan a little bit. Got a little softer pitcher on the mound. I like hitting that ball to the right side here. Wide open gap.
And we've seen batters moving up in the box. We have a good look at Conrad. When they see the off-speed stuff, try and take that away. See, I'm listening to you here. I'm learning something. Here's a ball and no strikes pitch to Conrad on the outside corner, and that was a good fastball.
It was.
From Martinez, so he mixes it up.
On the outer third, I think that has to tell Ty exactly what he needs to do. Hooking a ball on the ground is not what he's after, but I think he can drive one to that right side and help his club.
Lewis at third, Casanova at first, 2 down. There goes Casanova for second, and the throw, nice play by Cesares, cutting that one off. The throw from Phillips was high over the head of Cruz, and a heady play by Cesares, as we'll take a look at the replay. And this is a run-saving play by Cesares to be sure.
Heady play by the shortstop. The general of the infield showed his 5-star approach by getting where he needed to be in that situation.
And looked like a hit and run. Perhaps a run and hit more for Conrad there as they sent the runner at first.
I didn't see much action by the runner at third base. It could have been just a straight steal.
Yeah, well, Conrad took a swing at the pitch.
Off the left-hander.
Yep. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Conrad. Low and inside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count on Ty Conrad.
That play could have easily turned into something different had the young man Martinez gone to first base, but it looked like it was if kind of queen 4 went to pawn 6, they made a decision.
2-2 on Conrad. Martinez from the belt. In on his hands. Popped. And it's Cruz who will put it away to end the inning, but not before the Warriors get something going. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. Halfway through this one, El Camino with the lead, 2-0. It's the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. The Ohlone Renegades coming in here with a record of 42-5, the top seed in the North. But now find themselves in some trouble, dropping the opener 4-3 to Grossmont. And now trailing El Camino here in Game 3, 2-0.
El Camino, an inning that they broke the drought, got some runs, and handed the ball to their number 2 ace, Cassius Ham.
Ham been staked to a 2-0 lead, a 2-0 count now on Damon. It's the bottom of the order due up for the Renegades, Damon, Cesaris, and Naeem Knox.
Well, this is the LOM that you need here. You need this leadoff man retired to keep that momentum going for the Warriors.
Damon flied to left, good fastball from Ham, 2 balls and a strike.
Here we are in the top of the 5th with no trivia question yet, Jeff.
I got to come up with something.
Are you in
I don't even have something yet. I got one in mind. Ground ball left side. Lewis to his left. Retires Damon.
Lewis, his nickname is Hoover because he seems to vacuum up anything that's
I think
near him.
it sounds about right. Cesaris walked his first time up, and Ham really starting to cruise.
Well, I think that was a kind of a typical Ham at bat. 2 balls, no strikes, back in the at bat.
First pitch to
plate and jamming them.
First pitch to Cesaris is high, a ball and no strikes the count. Miguel comes in batting .303 on the season. Good fastball again from Ham. Count evened up, a ball and a strike. Cesaris has been struggling in the postseason. Just 3 hits and 29 at bats. That one in on his hands, and he fouls it off. A ball and 2 strikes on Cesaris.
Well, I don't think there's any need to panic. Both of these clubs have faced adversity before. I like to use the acronym of WIN, what's important next. And for Mr. Casares, this at-bat is what's next.
1-2 pitch, fly ball to right, playable for Eastburn. 2 down, 9 in a row retired. Now by Cassius Ham. And that'll bring up Naeem Knox, who grounded back to the mound his first time up.
Like we said earlier in the earlier innings, Cassius Ham starting to settle in, demonstrating the stuff that's gotten him to this position in the season.
First pitch to Knox outside. A ball and no strikes. So Ham up on the rubber, but Knox will ask for time. Try and slow him down here a little bit. The 1-0, high and inside.
Back to 2-0 again with 2 outs. We'll see how Cassius Ham responds. He typically gets back on the at-bat on the next pitch.
Knox a .279 hitter on the season. Line foul. Tried to take that one the other way. 2 balls and a strike. Knox winds, I should say, Ham. Diving stop by Lewis. Long throw, not in time. Knox able to leg it out. Well, it is not easy to get a ball past Lewis. We've seen that. See the great stop here, but a great job by Knox hustling down the line. And Lewis can't quite get enough on the throw.
Knox, good foot speed, great play again by Hunter Lewis. He's kind of owning that area.
Man.
I would expect some kind of activity maybe by Mr. Knox early in this at-bat.
So runner at first. That'll bring up Cruz. He's 1 for 2, singled and grounded to third.
Try and get their man in scoring position with the top of their lineup here. Using what has got him here, which is the base running skills and activity. Might see a good battle here on stealing a base.
That one at the knees. A ball and a strike.
Trying to take it to kind of lead that that Knox has at first base, excuse me. Trying to get a little bit more, trying to get that right foot to the cutout and a little bit past. We'll give you a little bit of an extension lead.
Popped up. Underwood calling everybody off, and he's got it to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, one left on base. Heading to the 6th, El Camino with a 2-0 lead on Ohlone College at the 3C2A Baseball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
And fans, just a reminder that today's game is brought to you by the 3C2A. The California Community College Athletic Association sponsors 24 championships for more than 27,000 student athletes attending 108 colleges throughout the state. The 3C2A providing opportunities and fulfilling dreams.
Moving to the top of the 6th. Heart of the order due up for El Camino as they nurse a 2-0 lead. Brady Dorn, Ryan Eastburn, Connor Underwood due up against left-hander Brian Martinez.
We'll have to see what kind of hitting plan El Camino demonstrates here on Mr. Martinez, who's primarily soft.
First pitch to Dorn in there for a strike.
Away, little two-seamer that off the plate to a right-handed hitter. They're going to have to think middle opposite against Mr. Martinez.
First pitch to Dorn, back to the off-speed stuff. That's at the knees. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Brady Dorn, who's 1 for 2. Grounded to second and singled. The Warriors finally broke through last inning. A 2 spot on the board. And they have the 2-0 lead. 0-2 pitch. Dorn just stays alive.
A little anxious covering the plate, but he's let that ball get deep and trust his plan here against Brian Martinez, who looks like he likes that arm side of the plate.
Well, I think what's interesting about Martinez is I feel like the first 10 pitches or so he threw were all decidedly off speed, and now we're starting to see a little more of the fastball, and you have to feel like that's by design. Back to the off-speed stuff as well.
Exactly. I don't think you're going to get much on the middle inner part of that plate. Every now and then he might try and sneak one under the hands of a barrel that maybe is not that fast, but I think this young man needs to take that ball to the right side of the diamond if he's going to succeed.
Dorn was instrumental in the victory over Orange Coast College after falling behind 1-0. Fly ball to left, but in front of the track, it's Probst for out number 1.
And there's the fastball that he tried to sneak in there. Got it, got a little bit on Brady's hands and not able to turn on it.
Just when I started to make a point about Brady Dorn, his at-bat's over. So we'll have to wait.
Well, he'll be back.
We'll have to wait for Brady to be up again.
He'll be
Get back to that.
It'll be a new moment soon.
He is due up again before it's all said and done here. That's a guarantee. First pitch to Eastburn, off the outside corner, a ball and no strikes. Eastburn's 1 for 2, singled back in the second, grounded to second in the fourth. The big blow today, a 2-run double off the bat of Hunter Lewis. That's the difference, breaking ball outside.
Hunter Lewis has been Mr. Gold Glove. Stepped up, had a good at-bat, became Mr. Gold Barrel in that particular inning.
Yeah, did he throw in a silver slugger to go with his gold glove there, I think?
He's going to sweep it.
Fastball down the middle, 2 balls and a strike on Eastburn. Here's the pitch from Martinez. Good cut from Eastburn, but he fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Keeping the ball away, keeping the ball away, keeping the ball away, then trying to sneak one in like he did to Dorn to get the first out.
Eastburn was 0 for 4 yesterday, but got on the board for the weekend with a single earlier here today. The 2-2. Cold, strike 3. And that is a rarity. That is only the second time that Eastburn has struck out in the postseason, and that's in 40 at-bats. So great job by Martinez getting the punch out.
Ball in that outer third of the plate again, away from his plan, but surprised by Ryan, who's done a good job on that side of the plate, but not in that particular at-bat.
That'll bring up Connor Underwood. Grounded into a double play and grounded back to the mound. Slow curve, a little high, a ball and no strikes. Underwood would be followed by Barba if he can keep it alive here in the top of the 6th. In on the hands, easy play for Curtis. Puts it away to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Brian Martinez and the Renegades here in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0. El Camino with the lead here at the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships.
Fans, just a reminder that today's game is brought to you by the 3C2A. The California Community College Athletic Association sponsors 24 championships for more than 27,000 student athletes attending 108 colleges throughout the state. The 3C2A, providing opportunities and fulfilling dreams.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Jacob Alvarado to be followed by Thaddeus Phillips and Ryan Ruley against Cassius Ham, who has blanked Ohlone through the first 5 innings.
This is the point in the game, this point in the lineup where Ohlone might need to try and get something started to get the Renegades rolling here on a tough competitor, Cassius Ham.
Alvarado's 1 for 2 so far today. Singled back in the first and struck out in the third. One pitch from Ham. Curveball outside, 2 balls and a strike on Alvarado.
Not strange to see Cassius Ham with 2 balls in any count, but the ability usually to bounce back after that.
Yeah, he's been behind a few times, but able to come up with something nasty when he's needed to, and he'll need to do that here as he's down 3 balls and a strike to Alvarado.
Leadoff man so important in games like this.
And not surprisingly here, we're talking about Ohlone College. He's got very good speed. So Ham doesn't want to put him on base, but that's exactly what he did. Walks Alvarado to start the 6th. So that'll bring up Thaddeus Phillips. He's 0 for 2, struck out twice.
Yeah, when they say, quote unquote, you may be due, you may be due. So Ham versus Phillips.
Now, this is what baseball is all about right here. It's the big bat against the guy on the mound with great stuff. Phillips tried to hold up. They'll appeal down. He went around. No balls and a strike. Bob Williams, the third base umpire today. Paul Cohen at first.
Just trying to settle Mr. Phillips down. I think he knows he's capable of getting his ball club back in this ball game. Great job by the coach just to say, Thaddeus, it's about what's next now. Settle down, be you. Don't be so anxious. 1 at bat at a time. So get a little coaching that we call neck up as opposed to neck down there.
Yeah,
by the head coach of Ohlone.
It looks like Ham's had a lot of success with off-speed stuff, staying away from the fastball in his at-bats against Phillips so far here today. And there's a breaking ball in there for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
Good command of his breaking ball at this point.
And I'll only make that point that I think it's gotten Phillips to be a little bit anxious at the plate. Maybe a little bit off balance. Fastball high.
Well, he's definitely uncomfortable. And a hitter like this, you don't want to let him settle in and be comfortable. He's been uncomfortable, not sure what he's getting, not sure what his plan is, and that's been demonstrated by some inefficient swings.
And he's down in the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ham from the belt. Lifted to center. Barba moving back in front of the 400-foot sign. He's got it for the out.
Mr. Phillips got the fastball he was looking for. Put a good swing on it, but he hit it to Fresno International Airport.
Well, that was
center field here.
Yeah, a little bit in front of the track. Gives me a chance to give the classic Hawk Harrelson. Oh, Phillips just missed it. Got a little bit under it.
Had a baby hawk.
So 1 down. That'll bring up Rulli. He's 0 for 2 today, struck out twice. Alvarado with a lead from first. Good fastball in there for a strike.
Here's a concern that we had. Mike said earlier about Ryan Rulli's health, but he felt pretty good. A little bit going on about balls and strikes here a little bit, but
well, it helps to be 19.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Rulli ready, hard ground ball, great stop by Lewis, goes to second for 1. Can't turn the double play. Rulli legs it out, but let's see if we can get the replay one more time. This is just unbelievable stuff from Lewis at third. And you see there again the range to his left, and then they almost turned it.
Mr. Lewis has let people know that's Mr. Lewis's neighborhood. Don't go hanging out there.
So Rulli now at first with 2 down. Denied a base hit by Hunter Lewis at third, and that'll bring up A.J. Curtis, first offering in there for a strike.
In a game like this with an offense like Ohlone, you need those type of plays because their offense is so potent, so powerful, and they got a little bit just miss going on right now, but Hunter Lewis is the man of the hour.
Curtis is 1 for 2. Singled and lined out. Rulli, not unlike the rest of the lineup, a major threat to steal. In fact, he leads the team with 30 stolen bases and 38 attempts. Held on at first by Underwood. Here's the pitch. Curtis fouls that one away. He's quickly in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
Maybe the Ohlone coaching staff wants to take a shot at a base running situation here. But again, you got pretty effective catcher behind home plate and Trevor Casanova. So we'll see. Look for that dirt ball in the dirt. Get advanced to second base where a bloop can get you back in a 1-run ball game.
Ham from the stretch. 0-2, back to the box, and Ham's got it. Over to first. That'll retire the side. Leadoff man aboard for the Renegades, but they can't get anything going. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 6 complete. El Camino with the 2-0 lead here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 7th from John Eulis Ballpark on the campus of Fresno City College. And a 2-0 lead for El Camino in a stay-alive game here between 2 teams that lost yesterday in their openers here in the 2017 championship. First pitch in there for a strike to Barba. Struck out and been hit by a pitch. Martinez, after a bit of a shaky start, has settled down nicely. A 1-2-3 inning last time, but gives up a base hit here to lead off the 7th to Barba. So Barba with a leadoff single. That'll bring up Cody Whistler, who's 1 for 2. Barba, if you remember back to the 5th inning, is who got it all started for the Warriors in the 2-run 5th that represents all the scoring today. He was hit by a pitch, eventually came around to score on the double by Hunter Lewis, who waits on deck. So the Warriors trying to strike lightning twice here if they can. Fastball in there for a strike. Whistler came into action today, batting .339. He has another hit on the board. Barba with a short lead at first, held on by Curtis. Through the hole, another base hit. Barba going to hold at second as Whistler delivers his second hit of the day. First and second now for the Warriors on Martinez. With nobody out, and El Camino with a chance to really take command here. They already lead it 2-0 as they bat here in the top of the 7th. Here's Hunter Lewis, 1 for 2. Had the big 2-run double back in the 5th inning. So Barba at second.
Hunter.
And Whistler at first. And Hunter Lewis at the plate. Martinez in a jam here in the 7th. Off speed away. A ball and no strikes.
Hunter Lewis starting to match his barrel to his glove. He's in a big moment again. Thereafter, Mr. Martinez here in the top of the 7th. And El Camino starting to put at-bats together.
Sense the confidence growing. That one in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Now the count on Lewis, and this is not a situation where Martinez can afford to walk Lewis at all with runners at first and second, nobody out.
Now Hunter needs to stay disciplined here, not hurry, get a ball that he can drive or move people over.
The 2-0 pitch, fastball, laced into left center, long run. Probst unable to come up with it. The base runners had to hold to make sure that Probst didn't make the sensational diving catch, so they only advance one base. So now it's bases loaded. Still nobody out. You see Probst with a long way to go. And Barba having to hold it second, Whistler having to hold it first, but they make it safely. So now we have bases loaded, nobody out on 3 straight singles, and Darian Sylvester with a huge opportunity to extend the Warrior lead.
Great effort by Ryan Probst. Again, Hunter Lewis, we said, hey, you need to get a fastball that you can drive. He got a ball, took it into the gap. Left fielder made a great attempt, and but that left the bases loaded. So here we are at a moment for El Camino, one of the best they've had here in 2 days.
Big conference on the mound. Martinez came on with 1 out and a man on in the 5th.
We got the summit of the mines here. This is NATO going
so
on.
He's gone 1 2/3, but he's faced 9 batters.
El Camino's obviously had a discussion about the hitting plan against a predominantly soft left-handed pitcher that's produced some quality at-bats here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Martinez on the season, 21 appearances, 72 2/3 innings. So he's got a pretty rubbery arm, I would say. He's gone back and forth between starting and coming on in relief. So you wouldn't think that fatigue is too much of a factor, and they'll stay with him as he works to Sylvester. And the Renegades in major trouble here with the bases loaded for El Camino. Still nobody out there in at all 4 positions in the infield.
Well, Martinez has the ability to have the hitter have an ineffective at-bat, pop somebody up, kind of things that happen with soft pitchers, but we're down at the bottom of the order now, and Darren takes the ball up the middle quite frequently, so we'll see how he handles his at-bat here.
Goes to the fastball on the first pitch and delivers a strike. Sylvester's 0 for 2. Slow curve, base hit to right. That'll score 1. Whistler rounding third, the throw coming in. Not in time. It looked like the throw beat him, but a great job by Whistler on the slide. We're going to look at the replay. You can't get a much better angle. And let's have a look. And I think the throw, Bones, gets here first.
I think the throw gets there first.
Yeah, and it's just a great slide by Whistler. I think that's just a great job. The throw beat him, but I think he was still safe.
The call was correct. The call was correct. A little bit of a high bounce on the throw. If you see the throw coming in from the right fielder, a little bit high, which takes a higher bounce.
Yep.
Not as low into the shin guard area of Thaddeus Phillips. Get a big slide.
That's a great job by Bill Shortridge, I think, getting in good position and absolutely right on the call.
Correct call. And El Camino on a little bit of a move here. Punching back and doing what they do.
So the lead now 4-0. That's going to be it for Brian Martinez. We'll have a new pitcher for the Renegades, El Camino, on top here in Game 3 of the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships. Back with the news on the new pitcher when we return. New pitcher, freshman Joseph Jennison, in for Ohlone College, and he comes in a very difficult situation. 2 on, runners at first and second. Still nobody out here in the 7th. 2 runs in, giving the Warriors a 4-0 lead. Well, Bones, we wondered and talked about some of the struggles at the plate for the Warriors, and it looks like the offense, as you're talking about, the good at-bats, they're starting to string them together, and they're starting to get things going with their offense.
That's what you need to do. You got Mr. Casanova here, top of the lineup again. So tough situation for this freshman right-hander, but there's definitely some offensive energy coming out of that Warrior dugout.
Jennison makes his 20th appearance of the season, a record of 2-0, an ERA of 4.20. The right-hander ready. Here's the 0-1 to Casanova. Casanova lines this one to left. Probst in to make the catch for the first out. So Casanova hits it pretty hard again. He's hit it hard a couple of times. Not much to show for it.
Quality hitter, good approach because they like to stay away from him. The defense has kind of caught him. He's hit some balls hard, but right at the outfielders, positioned well by Ohlone. And again, the young right-hander here is a ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
The bottom of the order, delivering the heroics for El Camino here today. Barbo with a hit and 2 runs scored. Whistler with 2 hits and 2 runs scored. Hunter Lewis, 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. Slow curve inside, a ball and no strikes. And Darian Sylvester with a 2-run single. That's the bottom 4 spots in the order. And they have been the offense today for El Camino as they lead it 4-0. Ty Conrad, the batter, he's 0 for 3. The 1-0 from Jennison. Misses low again, 2 balls, no strikes.
Another close pitch, but confidence in a breaking ball, pitching from behind a little bit, trying to get Ty Conrad to swing at that breaking ball down.
Jennison from the stretch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike. A closer look at the numbers for Jennison. You see 30 innings pitched, 21 hits allowed, walked 19, struck out 22. So obviously the freshman shows pretty good stuff, but I think control could be an issue, at least by the numbers. We'll watch how he works here with a 2-1 count. That one fouled off by Conrad, evening it up.
Well, he's come back in this at-bat well, going down 2-0 and really not close. Now fastballs by the barrel of Conrad. And here we are, 2-2 count, action time. Big moment in the game for Ohlone. Need to stop this energy for El Camino and get back to what they do really well is swing the bat.
Jennison checks the runners. Now comes home. Conrad takes that one low. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count.
3-2, these people will be going. You see infielders communicate. We got to go across here on any kind of action if it's a 3-2 movement by El Camino with the count full.
Conrad came into action today batting .332. High fly ball to center, can of corn for Ruley. Has it for out number 2. Lewis alertly tags at second, and he'll make it to third. So Conrad retired on the fly out to center. Now runners at the corners, 2 down, and Brady Dorn will be the batter. And Bones, I got to tell you, I think 4-0 here with 9 outs left. It's tough for the Renegades, but they need to get out of it right here.
They need to do that. You're right. Your assessment is good based on the way that Cassius Ham has been pitching as of late. Again, Mr. Phillips is going to have to work behind the plate a little bit, first and third, with the young man that likes to throw a breaking ball away. We'll see how Mr. Dorn handles this at-bat.
First pitch low and outside, a ball and no strikes on Brady Dorn, who's 1 for 3. A single back in the 4th. Jennison ready, here's the pitch. Fastball down the middle.
Good take, top of the zone, not the ball he's looking for. Again, that right side is wide open. And if the Warriors can put that kind of swing on it, I think they'll be okay.
Jennison with a look at third, now back at first. Nobody going anywhere. This inning started with 4 consecutive singles. Since Jennison's come on, he's gotten a couple of batters to get it to 2 outs. Trying to wriggle his way free from this jam. Fastball outside, 2 balls and a strike. The count now on Brady Dorn.
Better location, just off the plate some. And Brady Dorn looking for that fastball that he can handle.
Here's the 2-1. Dorn takes that one on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goes back to that breaking ball inside.
Confidence in a breaking ball, get back in the at-bat. We've seen that all day today and all day yesterday with quality pitchers on the mound.
The 2-2 from Jennison. There goes the runner in the dirt. Skips away from Phillips. They're going to send the runner from third. The play at the plate, they won't get him. Meanwhile, on the play, Sylvester going to go all the way to third. And the ball trickles into the Ohlone dugout, I believe, and they will award Sylvester home plate. It is now 6-0. Well, how do you score that one? It's a wild pitch.
There's going to be a discussion on the advancement. It's basically 2 bases from internal. They acquired second base.
Yeah, it was initially a wild pitch. Then Phillips' throw, I believe, was a little bit offline.
I think he could be returned to third base here.
Either way, you see that one, just pitcher and runner arriving at the same time. The ball gets away.
I'm not sure where everybody
and this is good alert running by Sylvester to get all the way to third. And then as that ball, I believe, trickles away into the dugout, that was where we got the call from Shortridge behind the plate. And now they're going to discuss it and see where Sylvester ends up. At the very least, it's 5-0.
Going to remain 6.
And now the Ohlone faithful letting it be heard. So the wild pitch and the error ends up putting 2 runs on the board for El Camino. The score is now 6-0. The bases are empty. And Brady Dorn at the plate with a 3-2 count.
We talked briefly about this yesterday, about free 90 feet. Here's another free 90 feet. 3 errors by Ohlone. Not as sound as they've been. A little bit anxious here now, and coach going to the mound to try and get some settle. But again, we need to credit Ohlone. They got 9 outs to play with the barrels that they've delivered all year, though they do have a tough hombre in Cassius Ham.
I got to tell you, Bones, I think they might have assessed 2 errors on that play. Not exactly sure, but I have them down. They're showing on the scoreboard that they have 3 errors. I'm looking at my score sheet. Oh, no, I found it. Okay, so, yeah, just 1 error on that play. Either way, that's all relative triviality.
Well,
the score is 6-0, and we have a pitching change. A new pitcher for the Renegades with 2 down here in the top of the 7th, and El Camino on top, 6-0. New pitcher, left-hander Sterling Strong becomes the 4th pitcher of the game for the Renegades. Strong comes in with a record of 3-2, an ERA of 3.95, making his 18th appearance of the season.
Sterling needing to be strong here a little bit, try and settle down these Warriors that are very, very active, energized, and productive.
First pitch in there for a strike to Ryan Eastburn, who's 1 for 3. Fastball on the outside corner, so Strong quickly on top of Eastburn. No balls and 2 strikes. Dorn with a lead at first. Foul back to the screen.
He's got a good walking lead. Not much runner control by Sterling right now. You can see that base runner Dorn just walk into an attempt at second.
Strong in 27 and a third innings this season has allowed 20 hits, walked 15, struck out 22. Working primarily out of the bullpen. Curveball just outside.
Wow.
I think that ball's up. There's no question that ball's up. Good take by Eastburn. Looking to go the other way here. Gets this left-hander Sterling strong.
A ball and 2 strikes. Back to the curveball. Got it. Eastburn down on strikes, but not before the Warriors go a long way toward breaking this one open. 4 runs on 4 hits. 1 error. 1 left on base. 7th inning stretch time here from John Eulis Field, and a 6-0 lead for El Camino on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
We head to the bottom of the 7th here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. The 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships. Mike Cepeda, Jeff Stoynoff, Tony Barbone. Bones. El Camino dominating here today versus Ohlone in the elimination bracket.
Well, I think you got a situation where Travis Ham stabilized his club, giving them an opportunity to come in and score. They have had a fractured offense all weekend, but he gives them that ability. And they've been hanging zeros.
And it's a leadoff hit here for Ryan Probst in the bottom of the 7th. Off of Cassius Ham. And Ham, second in the state in strikeouts on the year. He has been fantastic today. 6 innings of shutout ball, only 5 hits allowed.
And he has been the difference maker for sure. Ohlone, like you said, potent offense at any time. They can rally, hang a 3 or 4 spot, put a crooked number up there on you if you're not careful.
Yeah, we talked about the offensive prowess of Ohlone yesterday during the Grossmont game. Grossmont obviously very good offensively, 5th in the state in home runs on the season. Well, the team that was 4th in home runs on the season was Ohlone, so they can obviously put some big numbers on there for you.
Yeah, they can, and here's one of their stronger hitters right here. Double play ball.
The throw just a little wide. What's the call? Everybody's safe. So Ham with the throwing error. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Again, we've talked often over the weekend about that pitcher being the 9th glove and needing to field your position. Easy play for Cassius Ham, and he just goosed it over there a little bit and put Brady Dorn in a bad situation at second base.
So the Renegades with the first 2 on here against Cassius Ham in the bottom of the 7th, but a long way to go, trailing at 6-0. A throw back, and Probst back easily. And Cassius Ham has to be thinking to himself, where was that throw about 10 seconds ago?
Good point, good point.
Cesaris, the batter right now, 0 for 1, fly to right and walked. First pitch in there for a strike.
Again, you want to make sure you don't open too many doors for a team like Ohlone. El Camino usually solid with the glove. A little bit of a miscue there.
You know, Ham, Bones, for control so key for Ham. You go back to the start of the playoffs as Cesaris waves and misses at an off-speed pitch. Ham issued 9 walks in a loss to Glendale College in the opening round. And today he has just 2. And I think when he's been around the plate when he's needed to be today. And that's been so critical for his success, and he's ahead of Cesaris now. No balls and 2 strikes. Got him.
And like
Goes
I
back to the
earlier,
fastball.
Early in the broadcast, he is kind of effectively wild at times, but he has the ability to come back in the count like he did against Miguel and get a strikeout. You know, he struck out 135 people through the course of the season. It's an effective weapon, a la Clayton Kershaw. Yeah,
the key for a guy like Cassius Ham is to be able to throw a strike when he needs to throw a strike. And that's what he's been able to do today.
And we've seen that a lot out of his breaking ball in those backward counts. Now we're in a situation here where a ground ball away. Tough man to double up, and Naheem knocks, but get that ground ball and get your defense working for you.
He's 1 for 2, and in fact was able to beat out an infield hit for his 1 hit, speaking of the speed. Back to the fastball. It's a little high. Count evened up, a ball and a strike.
It's hard to evaluate Cassius's fatigue factor because when he does fail, he fails up the entire ball game, which is usually where people start to fail when they begin to tire some. But he looks strong. He should be okay.
Knox batting .250 in the postseason. Lifts this one to shallow center, but hanging up for Barba, who makes the catch for out number 2. 2 down, 2 on, and Isaac Cruz coming to the plate for the Renegades. And this may be last gasp here for the Renegades. Need to make something of this one.
Well, they're getting back to the type of lineup part in the game when they need to make something happen, when they get an opportunity. You know, coming off El Camino's cricket number up there out of 4, this is a moment for them as they try and scratch back into this ball game.
Cruz is 1 for 3, a single back in the first. Cassius Ham with a long look at second, now comes home. Again, high in the zone. A ball and no strikes to count on Cruz. 1-0 pitch at the knees.
Back to the breaking ball. That's his best friend today.
And again, Ham able to get a called strike down in the count. And again, not to belabor the point, but I think that's been so very critical.
Absolutely. I mean, fact is fact. You're not belaboring any points when this young man's executing.
Big swing and a miss. And Cruz can't catch up to the heat from Cassius Ham. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
The reason that he's 1 strikeout behind his teammate Taylor Rashi for the state lead in strikeouts, you're seeing it right here today.
From the stretch, the 1-2, back to the screen. Jacob Alvarado would be next if Cruz can keep it alive here in the bottom of the 7th. 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for El Camino. No runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Ohlone College. The 1-2. Cruz chops it in front of home plate. Ham over to first to end the inning. Great job by Cassius Ham fielding his position. Not an easy play. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. We're heading to the 8th inning. El Camino closing in. They lead at 6-0 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 8th inning underway. Connor Underwood set to lead things off. He'll be followed by Noah Barba and Cody Whistler against Sterling Strong. Fastball high to Underwood, who's 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play, grounded out and lined out.
A little bit of a nervous time here, as Chick Hearn would say, for Ohlone. They need to hang a 0 here and get back in that dugout.
Underwood cooled off a little bit this weekend after a red-hot postseason. He's 0 for 6 so far on the weekend. But the Warriors well on their way here right now to a date in Game 3 today, Game 5 overall. It's been a big-time answer for El Camino after the disappointing loss yesterday to Santa Rosa, coming back with a 6-0 lead.
I think you come back for a game like that, 5-2, tough ball game they played yesterday. But then you run a young man out there like Cassius Ham, your confidence goes up. He's demonstrated why he is an effective 12-game winner here for El Camino.
You know, one other thing that's definitely worth mentioning in this situation for El Camino is that Rashi went very deep into the game yesterday. Stropke, I believe, came in for a little over an inning, and Ham has gone the route so far. So a lot of options for Coach Fernley moving forward later tonight, potentially tomorrow, depending on what happens. But he's got a lot of pitchers still that he can use, and that's obviously something that could work to their benefit moving forward.
Talked briefly to Nate yesterday, talked to him a little bit about his plan. I think his plan is being executed right now as Cassius goes deep into the game, and I can think Nate is known for letting guys go route if they got pitch count where they're not going to be harmed or injured. So the way Cassius competes, I think you might see him deeper into this game.
Here's the payoff pitch. Bouncing ball. Damon on the big hop. Over to first to get Underwood for the first out here in the 8th. And you know, on a more strategic level, obviously, Rashi and Ham not going to be available for the rest of the weekend. So perhaps there's a sense in which you want to get the most out of them that you can because you don't have to worry about necessarily a start next week or even an appearance later. By the time tomorrow comes around, neither one's really going to be available.
I don't anticipate Nate would do that to any young man, but again, not sure about the durability.
Right.
I mean, Rashi's probably about $110 on his pitch count. I'm
right,
sure Travis is getting to 100 about now. So
I'm not talking about the Billy Ball A's here or something like that. Nobody's talking about ending somebody's career, but obviously you may as well let them go a little bit longer because, again, you don't have to.
I think that only happens
come back
on that
tomorrow.
new TV show called Brockmire.
I've heard about that, but
they just run them out there. Well, you would enjoy it. You're a very good announcer, and you might do a great job here, and you might enjoy the satirical journey of that particular announcer, Brockmire, in a minor league town that, there's 10-cent beer night at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Getting my share of satire and humor right here working with you, buddy. 2 balls and a strike, the count on Barba. He's had a big day at the plate. He's 1 for 2, been hit by a pitch. Couple of runs scored. It's really been Noah Barba that's been keying things for El Camino in their 2 big innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count.
Well, Sterling Strong, give them what they need. Controlling the count, he needs outs, and to get back in that dugout.
Popped out of play.
You got a little sense of there's a little tension here, even though it's a 6-run lead on both sides, especially this crowd. They're a little bit nervous on what's going to happen for their boys here out in that diamond.
And we're square in the Ohlone crowd where we're located for the call here, so we are hearing their reaction for the most part. And, Ohlone is not a stranger to this particular event, and we've covered them before when they've been here. And very vociferous and good following, as really all the schools have.
Sure, there's
when we work this. Barba swings and misses down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring up Whistler, who's 2 for 3.
Like we mentioned during the broadcast, and we spoke about the great fallen heroes that we recognize on Memorial Weekend. Again, recognizing these support staffs, administrators, parents, friends, family that come out here and be part of the dream that these young men are chasing.
First pitch in there for a strike to Whistler. With 2 hits today, Whistler now has 14 hits in the postseason. Got the average up near 400. 0-1 pitch, chopped foul.
Whistler looks good in the box. Cody seems to have a good approach. That one was a little bit out in front. But nice and tall, hands are soft, and make sure that he can get a good bat path through that zone.
Strong up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Working from the stretch. Fastball high, and Whistler lays off.
Again, good approach, looking to have the ball get deep, but recognizing that Sterling likes the other side of the plate, so he was nice and tall as he took that pitch.
Interesting that Strong elects to work from the stretch, even with the bases empty. Curveball fouled out of play.
Well, KK, their starter. Oh, that was Mr. Jimenez yesterday that was in a stretch the entire time.
In your experience, is that just purely a comfort?
Yeah, I think it's a comfort, and sometimes it's a rhythm thing, and kids going back and forth, they change their arm angle, and this is a little bit more of a balanced rhythm. It's easier to get where you need to be from this position.
A ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Strong fans Whistler, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 8th. Heading to the bottom of the 8th, El Camino with a 6-0 lead. You're watching the 2017 California Community College Athletic Association Baseball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the 8th inning. Heart of the order due up for the Renegades. Trailing it 6-0. First pitch from Cassius Ham. High and inside to Jacob Alvarado, who's 1 for 2.
Jacob
singled and walked in 3 trips.
Jacob looking to be a table setter here, get his offense going, which he did.
And that got a piece of him. So Ham hits Alvarado to start the 8th inning. That'll bring up Thaddeus Phillips, who's had a quiet day at the plate. He's 0 for 3, struck out twice.
Well, again, Cassius Ham, that's not news that he would get outside his box a little bit, but he has the ability to bounce right back, strikeout pitcher. Big matchup here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question it's unintentional. Can't think of a reason.
Absolutely not.
And with a 6-0 lead in the 8th inning, I think that's safe to say. A ball and no strikes.
If you're watching the game, Cassius has the ability to miss the plate by sometimes more than an inch.
The 1-0 to Phillips, low and inside. 2 balls, no strikes. The dangerous Thaddeus Phillips.
Like I mentioned a couple times, I think that effectively wildness is part of Cassius' strength, because just when you think that you got him behind the 8 ball, he shoves one down the middle that you can't touch.
Well, Phillips has the count he wants. Here's the 2-0, and he had a cut.
There's your example right there, and couldn't quite get to that. Had a little bit of cut late and off the end of the bat.
Yeah, pretty good location on the 2-0 pitch. He didn't exactly groove one for Thaddeus.
No, he did not. That's not a guy you want to groove with.
Yeah, exactly. 2 balls and a strike.
Get his groove on too early.
On Phillips. Alvarado leads away from first, popped up. In back of short, Sylvester calling everybody off, and he's got it. 1 down. That'll bring up Rulli. He's also 0 for 3, struck out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. And Ham's effectiveness against the heart of this order has been so key. Of course, when you've gone 7 to 3rd and having a lot of run, you've been pretty effective against the entire order.
Yeah, he's punching out the snack bar right now. So he's been exactly what they needed, exactly what he's been in the South Coast Conference. And
Alvarado has to scramble back. Ham with a quick check of the runner. High fastball, and Ruley can't catch up.
that's a little bit over anxious by Ryan, who's demonstrated he's a much better hitter than chasing a ball up around his chin. So he needs to get a ball down and use the skill that he has.
No balls and a strike. Just
like
outside. A ball and a strike. Ruley has been so very clutch in this postseason. 3 hits in the Game 3 victory in the sectionals that punched their ticket up here to Fresno, or I should say down here in the case of Ohlone. It came up big in that very important game.
Again, Ham back in the at-bat.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Really in control of this middle part of the lineup today.
Alvarado with a short lead. Well outside. And I think there's a little bit of that too. You wonder if that's a little bit of a setup pitch right there, and that effective wildness that we've seen from Ham today. And
well, every now and then he gets out in front of himself. His arm doesn't quite catch up. Ball fails high. Something that Tommy was talking to us about yesterday in last night's ball game.
lined hard by Ruley. Conrad in front of the track has it. So Ruley hits it hard, but right at Ty Conrad and left. So 2 down. Alvarado remains at first, and A.J. Curtis will be the batter.
Ruley got a breaking ball that stayed in the middle of the plate. Put a tremendous swing on it, but that was Adam ball. That was right at that left fielder. Well positioned, and things kind of leaning towards the El Camino Warriors at this point.
Well, they talk about hit them where they ain't. That was a hit them where they are, unfortunately, for Ryan Ruley. There's a lot of places
correct.
in the ballpark where if he hits that one, he's standing on second base.
At least. But there was a blue jersey there with the glove. Gloves getting away of sometimes the quality at bats.
Yeah. Curtis is 1 for 3. Here's the 1-0 from Ham. Good fastball on the inside corner, a ball and a strike. Right back to the same spot for Cassius Ham. A ball and 2 strikes, the count now on Curtis.
This young man believes in his ability, believes in his coaches. He's executed a pitch right here to keep that energy going positively for El Camino.
I got to tell you, Bones, how often do you see a pitcher who's allowed the leadoff man aboard in 5 of 8 innings working on a shutout in the 8th inning?
Well, I think that goes back to what we talked about. He's a strikeout pitcher, and that strikeout has got out of so many innings. They haven't rolled double play balls, but then there's not a quality at bat to follow the leadoff guy. And
yep. Just a great job with men on base of locating his pitches. 2-2, fouled away.
like I said, he competes effectively in the zone and sometimes effectively out of it. But he always reaches back, makes a pitch, makes the hitter decide what they want to do. And again, you got a strikeout guy, you're always in the hunt.
Let's remind everybody, Game 2 today is scheduled for 2 o'clock. And that will be Grossmont taking on Santa Rosa. Curtis down on strikes to end the 8th. Ham continues the shutout. We head to the 9th. 6-0 El Camino on top. Here in Game 3, it's the 2017 3C2A Baseball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 9th inning. El Camino coming to bat. Hunter Lewis, Dorian Sylvester, and then the top of the order, Trevor Casanova against Sterling Strong, who works into his 2nd inning. Swing and a miss for Lewis. What a day for Hunter Lewis. 2 for 3 at the plate, couple of runs batted in, a run scored, and about, I'd say, 4 or 5 web gems in the field.
Absolutely, Jeff. Good observation. Again, he's had a day. And like I say, you get a guy that maybe has struggled offensively here and there, steps up, has quality at bats, picks up the bottom part of the lineup, and gets that thing to roll over.
A ball and a strike they count. Another swing and a miss for Lewis.
That's not what he needs to do right there. That ball's chin high, away. He's not hitting that with maybe 3 bats.
A ball and 2 strikes. Maybe with one of those old fat wiffle bats. Is that
the Flintstone wiffles.
There you go. Lewis down on strikes. 3rd straight strikeout for Sterling Strong, who has struck out 4 of the last 5 that he's faced. So a little late, unfortunately, on the scoreboard for Ohlone College in this one as they trail it 6-0 here in the 9th. But Sterling Strong, well, let's go for the obvious with a sterling performance so far. I think here it's aptly named.
It's given a strong effort. That's what they need.
I can never compete with you in
no,
this area.
Absolutely. It's
I gotta know what battles to stay away from. No balls and a strike.
No.
Sylvester, he's 1 for 3. A big 2-run single to really break things open. Came back in the 7th.
The theme of the game, we had KK, we had RR, now we got SS.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of alliteration going on.
Got some math problems going here. But, Sterling's done exactly what they needed to do. Just that their offense hasn't kicked in yet, and we'll see what happens here.
Sylvester, meanwhile, is having a heck of a weekend, 3 for 7 at the plate here over the 2 games. Out in front there, and he's down on strikes. And Strong just continues. That's 4 in a row down on strikes, and he'll work on Casanova next.
Well, it's exactly what you need coming out of the pen. I don't want to say too little too late because you got to respect that Ohlone lineup. You just never know with them.
We have seen similar type things come out of nowhere seemingly in games where one team was totally in control. So 3 more outs to get, but obviously El Camino in great position here with Casanova at the plate. A ball and no strikes. The fastball just outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Casanova, who's 0 for 3. Did reach on a walk back in the 5th.
El Camino. Good position, up 6 runs, and they got a gentleman on the mound named Cassius Ham. It's been the renegade killer today.
Just outside. So 3 balls, no strikes. Strong taking a little extra time. Now he's ready. Here's the 3-0 at the knees. 3 balls and a strike on Casanova. Strong working quickly. Gets it all the way back to 3-2 on Casanova.
It's always good to get a couple extra looks against the left-hander if you can when you control the count, as Trevor has here.
Strong ready. Here's the payoff. Driven deep to right. Alvarado going to field this one off the wall. The throw into second, not in time, as Casanova slides in with a 2-out double.
Trevor Casanova.
Let's look at the replay very quickly here.
Gentleman we've talked about often, gets a ball in the middle of the plate. Thinks he got a little bit better at the first, but understand this is Trevor Casanova. He's a leadoff hitter for El Camino. He runs well above average for his position. Gets a big 2-out hit, and we're looking at Ty Conrad match up right versus left.
How about Alvarado, too, with a little bit of yaz in him out there, fielding that ball off the wall. That was quite a job by Alvarado getting that ball back in, and he nearly had Casanova at second.
Played it nicely off the Tom Seaver Hall of Fame logo that was out there.
Pop fly behind second, and it's Cesares who will move over to put it away. El Camino threatens, but comes up empty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 9th. El Camino trying to close it out and move on here on championship weekend. It's the 3C2A Baseball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Fans, a reminder that today's game is brought to you by the 3C2A. The California Community College Athletic Association sponsors 24 championships for more than 2,700 student athletes attending 108 colleges throughout the state. The 3C2A providing opportunities and fulfilling dreams.
Heading to the bottom of the ninth, and let me get this out there because I've started to once or twice and then run into a problem with ends of innings. We will have coverage of Game 4 coming up. That's at 2 o'clock, Grossmont and Santa Rosa College. Then we will also, of course, be covering the third game today, which will feature El Camino if this score holds. But the winner of this game will take on the loser of our next game in Game 5 of Championship Weekend. We'll have that one, I believe that's 45 minutes after the conclusion of our second game today, but of course we'll update you on that. But keep it right here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. You can follow along every pitch here of the baseball championships in the 3C2A. And of course, sorry, Barnes.
Travis Ham back to that 1-1 count.
Came into the ninth with 112 pitches thrown today, and they'll let him work the ninth. And why not? With the 6-0 lead, a ball and 2 strikes to count now on Probst. One other thing, of course, to keep in mind for those following on SoCalCollegeSports.com, all games that we cover are immediately archived to our channel on YouTube. You can search that on YouTube, SoCal College Sports 1, and go back and watch any of the games that we have covered this weekend and, of course, any games before. But they're all there on our YouTube channel, SoCal College Sports 1. Probst down on strikes as Ham fans him with the high heat. That's one down, and that'll bring up Johnny Damon.
I think that's Cash's 8th strikeout, about 115, 18 pitches now. Going back to his rhythm, getting back in tempo. Big, strong kid trying to complete this game for the Warriors.
Yeah, this is just a real gem being put together by Cassius Ham. 8 1/3 shutout ball. But as we've talked about, it's been the timing of the pitches as well. He hasn't gotten ahead of every single guy by any stretch. He's put some runners on base, and every time come up with big pitches time and again when he's needed to. And he's been overpowering, and now he's on top of Damon, no balls and 2 strikes.
Even to the point where there was a double play ball that he misplayed, threw the ball errantly, nobody out, stepped right back up, does what he does, and got himself out of that particular predicament with quality pitches in big spots.
Here's the 0-2 to Damon. Again, fouled off. Damon's 0 for 3. Did reach on an error in the 7th. When the Renegades put 2 on with nobody out, thought they might start to scratch together a rally. Trailing at that time 6-0, but Ham quickly put it out, retiring 3 in a row and getting out of it without allowing a run.
Good discipline right there. He liked the ball up. He saw it up, stayed off it, and still in the at-bat, Johnny Damon. As Ohlone trying to maybe scratch up a miracle.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Damon pops this one up on the right side and out of play. Plenty of drama to follow. Got Grossmont and Santa Rosa coming up next. That was a gutty performance by the Griffins with the 4-3 victory in Game 2 last night. And Santa Rosa, their bona fides need no explanation. Bouncing ball to Sylvester. Strong throw to get Damon at first. But they are trying to repeat as champions are the Bear Cubs, and they're off to a good start with the victory over El Camino yesterday.
Well, I think it was the famous Al McGuire that said a true mark of a champion is one who repeats. And the Bear Cubs sure showed that they're on the road to do that. I think you got some other horses in the race that might have a difference of opinion. Got the beach ball going up around in the El Camino stands. They're feeling it.
Yeah, the celebration ensues. Fair ball. It's not over yet. Cesares rounding first. He will head into second with a 2-out double. First extra base hit of the day allowed by Ham. And Cesares places it perfectly right down the third base line.
Well, it's one of the few balls that that Hunter couldn't get. Mr. Lewis over there at third base has been, we kind of gave him the Hoover call early, but that was well struck down the line. Quality stand-up double from Miguel. And so we're back to Hakeem Knox.
I find myself a little bit taken aback that Lewis didn't come up with one hit at third base.
Yeah, it looks like he's had about 9 gloves and a net over there this
What's
week.
a ball doing going into left field? I don't.
How dare him? How dare him?
That doesn't happen. No balls and a strike to count on Knox, who's 1 for 3. Hit hard to left. It's going to drop in for a base hit. That'll break up the shutout. Knox into second, back-to-back doubles. After 2 are out, the Renegade faithful, finally something to get really excited about, and they're up on their feet. The score now 6-1. Ham still 1 out away.
Well, the Green Machine finally took the lid off their offense. Here we go, 2-out rally by the Ohlone faithful.
Well, this would be one for the record books if they could get something going here. Still trailing at 6-1. Cruz swings at the first pitch. He's down, no balls and a strike. He's 1 for 4.
A little anxious there to get on that double parade. No need to panic here. Just settle down, Cassius, and do what you do. Don't help him out, though, if you're an Ohlone batter.
And quickly now he is ahead of Cruz. No balls and 2 strikes as he pops the fastball. No balls, 2 strikes to count on Cruz. Back-to-back doubles after 2 were out. The Renegades finally get on the board, still trail at 6-1. Here's the pitch to Cruz. Called strike 3, that'll do it. Ham fans Cruz to finish it off. Cassius Ham goes the route, allows the 1 run. El Camino moves on to Game 5 later tonight with a victory over Ohlone College. And for the Renegades, Bones move up here, and somebody, unfortunately, in this format has to lose too and head home. But obviously, the Renegades with a tremendous season once again.
Well, it's a quality risk that you take to be here. 4 teams, the 4 best teams in the state are here. Again, 3 teams are going to go home uncomfortable but proud. Good ball game here. Ohlone, great season, great performance. Just ran into a buzzsaw today in Taylor Ham. The guy was cutting people up left and right, got back in every count, and it wasn't until late that Ohlone got a couple barrels in a row. They didn't have that offense today, but Ohlone, a reputable opponent. There have been a resident here a few times here in the last 5-7 years, so I'm sure we'll see him back today. And El Camino moves on to the hotel, moves on to some lunch, and we'll be back this evening.
Yeah, and we'll see if that turns into an advantage, as it so often has been. Where they get to go home and have that rest. Coming up, we'll have game number 4, Grossmont, Santa Rosa. Obviously, a lot on the line there, but the loser of that game will have to go right back to work tonight. And of course, we'll have it all here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Again, schedule moving forward. Come back and join us. 2 o'clock, we will have game 4, our second game today. Grossmont taking on Santa Rosa College. Once again, the final score in our first game today is 6-1. El Camino stays alive with a victory over Ohlone College. They move on, and they will play later on tonight. For Tony Barbone, Mike Zapata, Matt Henson, Emery Johnson, Jorge Zapata, everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock. So long, everybody.